bagels. So I brought different amount of bagels depending how many days I was out. I know a lot of people think, oh, that's a lot of weight or a lot of size, but man, it packs a lot of punch too, as far as calories and dense calories and bang for your buck. And like a thing of bagels, basically the size of an Nalgene bottle anyway. So as far as space goes, I think the amount of calories and carbs and everything you can get from bagels are worth the space. On top of that, I brought beef jerky, which I eat pretty much like a bag a day. Protein powder. So now protein powder again, I eat protein powder every day, so I'm pretty used to it, and that's another huge bang for your buck. It's probably the densest and lightest amount of protein that you can get. You just put it in a nice bag, bring a ton of protein powder. You can get 100 grams of protein powder in something that's like the size of a bagel. So to me, I found that to be very worthwhile, especially for backpacking. Protein bars. I brought Snickers bars, M&Ms, nuts, that sort of thing. For dinners each night, I ate a bag of chicken and a bag of rice that I cooked. A+, loved it. It was a lot of food, super good. The chicken is like the chicken that I brought for each night for dinner. I brought it's like a bag of chicken that you can get. It's like, what is it, like called freeze dried or something like that? It's where like you get the tuna fish and all that stuff, but it comes in a bag. And then I got like, the 7-minute bag of rice. Threw the rice in the pot, cooked it up, and then once the rice was hot and cooked, I just dumped the chicken in, put the lid on it for another couple of minutes, and the heat from the rice cooks, warms up the chicken, which is already cooked. And it's a lot of food. I'm a big guy, so I wanted a lot of food. Super happy with it. I highly recommend. But again, food is kind of what you need, and I'm always going to opt for bringing more food because I'm going to eat it. You know what you need, but I would definitely err on the side of bringing more than bringing less. And there's also those other freeze dried food options. You can get them at Walmart or EMS or wherever. Those meals where you just add the boiling water and voila, they come to life. Those are obviously options. They're lightweight. They're expensive though. They're pretty expensive, but they have some bang for their buck as well.
Yep,
I know
that's what I use,
like
which is why your campsite is probably way better for eating than mine is. I get the freeze-dried ones. I cannot remember the name of the company. They're made in Maine. It drives me nuts. It's something along the lines of All Good or something like that. And someone's probably rolling their eyes because they're like, "Oh, you idiot! It's the most common. Everyone uses them." But I'm having a brain fart. I can't remember what they're called, but they're made in Maine. They've got a pretty good menu. I know there's a chili, there's a curry, there's something else. I pretty much stick to those for like most of my meals, and everything else I bring as snacks, just because of weight and the space saving.
Yeah, they definitely save a lot of space, save a lot of weight.
But you're eating way better than I am on the trail.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm also, as I mentioned, I was only out for 2 to 3 days. So it was a lot of food to bring, those chicken and the rice. But like I said, it was exactly what I wanted at the end of the night. A lot of food. I was very full, very happy. And I'm always trying to eat for performance out there. So I'll bring some extra food if I need it. It'll help me out for sure. That's what I brought. Again, you're going to bring what you're going to bring, whatever works for you. But bring more than bring less.
Yes. Yep. I like to use the freeze-dried meals, but I also bring along a lot of snacks. Beef jerky is a good one. It's not the cheapest food you can bring. It's actually like pretty much the most expensive food you can bring.
It's true.
As far as trail foods, maybe the old bag of Gorp, like everyone tends to bring something along those lines. It's calorie dense.
A lot of calories, yeah.
Yeah. So which means it's got a lot of quick energy as well. A Snickers bar, things like that. Those are always great. And of course, if you have room and you don't mind it a little bit warmer than ideal, pack some beer too, because that is a great energy booster. Don't get drunk because you'll dehydrate yourself and do stupid things when you're in the woods.
Sure.
But one or two, if you're going to take a lunch stop along the way, it's not going to hurt you. And New England IPAs are a huge carb and sugar boost as well. They are just an energy powerhouse.
Yeah, totally, 100%. And if you're hiking the Northville-Placid Trail, you can send yourself or have someone send you food. The post office in Piseco. You can, I believe, in Long Lake, you can get a drop as well there too. But there's also, I mean, if you could coordinate it with someone, there's tons of roads throughout the whole trail. Not the whole trail, I should say, but
yeah, definitely not the whole trail.
Well, pretty much once you get to Long Lake, there is no road until you get to Lake Placid. So that section, Long Lake to Lake Placid, you will pass 0 roads. So have everything you need for that section. But from Northville to Long Lake, there's plenty of different roads. So yeah, if you want to work it out with your loved ones to bring you some food and you can not have to bring everything at once, you could definitely make that happen. Just look at the map and, say something nice to your loved ones to get them to drive to very random places in the Adirondack Park that takes so long to get to no matter where you're coming from. But those are options. You will walk right past the Pasico post office as well, so that might help.
Everybody's family members absolutely love it when you give them a grid coordinate and a heavy object and tell them to leave it at that place, and they have to spend about 3.5 hours finding that grid coordinate.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no one in the world that doesn't love that. Don't let them kid you.
And with that in mind, also, cell phone service, super limited on the whole Northville-Placid Trail. So as we move out of food and into other gear, as I have it listed here on my notes, I brought a Garmin InReach Explorer GPS. It was an absolute lifesaver for so many reasons. I was able to put the whole trail into it and plot my route there. It helped during one of the sections that we desperately needed the GPS to follow. It was winter. It was a whole thing. You'll hear about it on the podcast. But it was a rough day, and the GPS was clutch. Those damn beaver dams, man, they can really be a problem. I'll just say that, especially in the wintertime. But the GPS was super nice for sending text messages to your loved ones at home. Hey, we're done for the day, or hey, we're starting for the day. Hey, follow me. Here you go. Here's the link that you can follow where we're going. Send a text message. Everything's good or everything's bad. Send help. SOS. You are out in the middle of nowhere, middle of nowhere. So if you do this trail, I do highly, highly, highly recommend investing in a GPS. And you'll have to get some sort of subscription with it. They really grab you by the balls a little bit there, but it's worth it. It's definitely worth it. And you will have cell phone service in maybe 3 or 4 places on the 138 miles. So
what is your subscription fee for that? It's like $7 a month or something?
I think it's $12.99, but then, they get you I mean, that's what I have. I could get one that's, I think, $24.99, and then they wouldn't get me for these other charges, but it's around $12.99. So on hikes that I'm going on into the high peaks, it's like when you get to on a summit, usually you have cell phone service and you can send a text message. So it's not as necessary there. But again, the Northville-Placid Trail, you are between those mountains, so there is no cell phone service. So I do highly recommend, if that trail is on your radar, invest in one. It is a lifesaver. I don't know if those things, I don't think GPSs can be rented, but if they could, and you don't want to spend $450, it'd be worth renting. But I don't know how that works.
So just to clarify, you're talking specifically about the GPS with the satellite communications and the locator.
Yeah, you want the whole shebang there, because plotting your route is also awesome, great to do. It's a little bit of a process, but it's so worth it. Just for peace of mind while you're out there, it's very nice. But then the satellite, the GPS, and the text messaging stuff that you can do with it, for myself, very important, very clutch.
Do you have your set up so you can give a link for someone to track you with real-time updates and things like that? Oh, that's great.
Yeah. And that's another thing too with the GPS is, you select how often it sends those messages, and you can have it so it constantly is updating your whereabouts, and people can follow you. At home, they just click the link. And you can also do what I've done with my GPS is, so you get 3 preset texts that don't cost money to send text. So I have, my first one is starting for the day /yes. The second one is just checking in, everything is okay /no. And then the third one is done for the day going to car. So it's because those are presets. Basically, like if my wife sends me a text message, she knows like send me a message or a question that's kind of yes or no. I'll send her one of the yes or no presets because I'm trying to get as many messages in those 3 preset texts as I can. So sometimes she has to kind of decode the text message based on what her question was, but it's worth it because you do end up spending I get 10 text messages a month. That's sending or coming back. So after that, I think it's like 50 cents per. So it's not cheap. But I could just get a more expensive subscription, but I don't want to.
I mean, if nothing else, the fact that you're even replying, that's a great sign.
Oh, sure. Well, I mean, that's the
right.
thing GPS yeah. I mean, a great sign meaning that I'm still alive.
Right, yeah, that you're able to actually physically reply to a message on it. Yes.
Yeah, totally. Super cool. All right, so continuing on with other stuff that I had in my backpack here on this backpacking adventure up the Northville-Placid Trail. I had a couple different size dry sacks that I had my clothes, toiletries, food in. And again, other people, Kenny's mentioned it himself, he tends to not use those sort of things. I like them just for organization purposes. They help me mentally as I organize. I had paracord, which is what I hung the bear bag with each night, and it's just good to have. I had a buck knife for protection / peace of mind / more so peace of mind. I'm not going to be able to do much with that in the middle of the night, but it helped me. I liked having that next to me when I slept out in the wilderness. I did have a lightweight lantern that I got that was awesome for hanging at the lean-to at night. You just pop it open, it screws into itself, and then it opens up to a lantern. It was great, lit up the lean-to perfectly, and it was really nice to have instead of just having to hold your flashlight and point it where you want. That kind of lit the area. Clutch. Yeah, super clutch.
I use something called the Lucy lantern, LUCI. Same idea, kind of ultra lightweight type of thing. It probably weighs a couple ounces. It's inflatable, so it folds down into a flat disc. I believe with one solar charge, it might be a 1 hour charge for 8 hours of usage.
Wow, it's awesome.
It's LED, so you can go from white to red to pink to blue, or you can put it on party mode where it just changes colors every few seconds.
Totally.
Which is, exactly what you want to see in the lean-to at night.
Yeah, the bears love the parties at the lean-to, right, for sure.
That's how you know where let them know where the party is. But that's awesome. They're super reliable. They're very lightweight. They pack down to absolutely nothing. They just inflate like a little beach ball. So it goes from the size of a CD jewel case out to about the size of a medium coffee can once it's inflated, and they project a lot of light.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, they're great, and they just hang it by a nail in the lean-to, and it heights the whole thing up. Beautiful. I had a bug net, very important on the Northville-Placid Trail. Have a bug net. Man, those bugs can be brutal. I had glasses holder for my glasses at night, or a lot of times when I'm hiking, if I'm sweating or and it's wet, my glasses are just foggy and I hate it, so I just take them off. I had 2 headlamps, batteries. Battery charger for my phone, even though I tell you, dude, when your phone's on airplane mode and it's not being used for anything, the battery lasts quite a long time. And then my typical first aid stuff that would come with me, whether I was hiking Mount Joe or I was hiking the Northville-Placid Trail, I just fired that from one bag to the other. And inside that has this the normal stuff I bring, your ace bandages, your Band-Aids, vitamin I, ibuprofen, all that jazz, that sort of stuff. And I brought plastic freezer bags as my trash can, for wrappers and whatnot. And don't forget to take the wrappers out of your bag to put into the bear bag at night and hang that, because you forget to put the dirty wrappers that are in your backpack in the bag. Well, the bear is going to smell that, and then they're in your tent or your lean-to, which you do not
You don't want to have a cargo pocket full of Cliff Honey Stinger wrappers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I brought Venture wipes, which were so nice to clean off at the end of each day. Venture wipes are awesome. Highly recommend them. You can check them out online. They're 12 inches by 12 inches, so they're big, which is awesome. Just one wipe you'll be able to clean up your body really nicely. They're clutch. I mean, if you're hiking in the summertime, you can just take a dip in the water. That's